Intermittent fasting advantage. What is the advantage of using a strategy based on intermittent fasting versus simple dietary alone, such as the low-carb, high-fat diets that we prefer? There are several good ones. Advantages of intermittent fasting compared to other diets. Please watch until the end. 1. Simplicity. This is hard given all the conflicting advice flying around the internet and the airwaves. We would tell people to go low carb and find food diaries full of whole wheat bread and plates of pasta. Many people honestly did not understand the diet at all, since the low-fat approach had been indoctrinated into them for the last 20 years. It was hard for people to understand how to eat a diet high in natural fats, rather than the low-fat fare they were used to. Using a completely different approach, such as fasting, was much easier for people to understand. Fasting itself is so simple that it can be explained into sentences. Eat nothing, including sugars or sweeteners. Drink water, tea, coffee or bone broth. The most obvious benefit to simplicity, though, is demonstrated by the startlingly simple graph above. The simpler, the more effective. 2. Cheap. While we may prefer to eat organic, local grass-fed beef and avoid the white bread and processed foods, the truth is that these foods are often 10 times the cost. Some people, simply put, cannot afford to eat that well. Since grains enjoy substantial government subsidies, it is far cheaper to make something out of flour than whole foods. Feeding a family on a budget is a lot easier when you buy pasta and white bread. But that does not mean they should be doomed to a lifetime of type 2 diabetes and disability. Fasting is free. Actually, it is not simply free, but it actually saves people money because you do not need to buy any food. 3. Fasting is convenience. While we may advise people to always eat a home-cooked, prepared from scratch meal, there are many people who simply do not have the time or inclination to do so. The number of meals eaten away from home has been increasing over the past few decades. While there are many who try to support the slow food movement, it is clear that they are fighting a losing battle. So asking people to devote themselves to home cooking, as noble as it may be, is not going to be a winning strategy. Fasting, on the other hand, is the opposite, because there is no time spent buying food, preparing, cooking and cleaning up. It is a way to simplify your life. We often skip breakfast in the mornings, the time saved. 4. Power. Sometimes, even a strict low-carbohydrate, high-fat diet, it is not strong enough. The fastest and most efficient way to lower insulin is intermittent fasting. In the end, you must ask yourself this question. If you do not eat anything for 1 week, do you think you will lose weight? Even a child understands that you must lose weight. It is almost inevitable. So its efficacy is unquestioned. There are only 2 remaining questions. First, is it unhealthy? On the contrary, there are extraordinary health benefits. 2. Can you do it? Well, if you never try it, you will never know. We think almost everybody can do it. 5. Flexibility. Fasting can be done at any time and in any place. Furthermore, if you do not feel well for any reason, you simply stop. It is entirely reversible, within minutes. Consider bariatric surgery, stomach stapling. These surgeries are done so that people can fast for prolonged periods of time. And they tend to work, at least in the short term. But these surgeries have tons of complications, almost all of which are irreversible. Furthermore, Why would we assume that somebody cannot fast for 1 week or 1 month without ever having tried it? 6. Sustainability. Fasting compared to other diets refers to its long-term viability and the likelihood that individuals can adhere to the eating pattern over an extended period as following. It reduced feelings of deprivation, one of the challenges of many traditional diets. The constant focus on food restrictions, which can lead to feelings of deprivation. Intermittent fasting does not necessarily dictate specific foods to avoid, making it potentially more psychologically sustainable. Flexibility in food choices allows for a flexible approach to food choices. People may feel less deprived and enjoy a more varied diet during non-fasting periods. Then the one who fasts will get adaptation. Over time, the body becomes accustomed to the timing of meals, and hormonal changes may occur, it potentially reducing feelings of hunger during fasting periods. This adaptation can make it easier for people to incorporate intermittent fasting into their daily lives without a constant struggle against cravings. 7. Fasting can add to any diet. Here is the biggest advantage of all. Fasting can be added to any diet. That is because fasting is not something you do, but something you do not do. It is subtraction rather than addition. You don't eat meat, you can still fast. You have a nut allergy, you can still fast. You don't have time, you can still fast. You don't have money, you can still fast. You are traveling all the time, you can still fast. You don't cook, you can still fast. You are 80 years old, you can still fast. You have problems with chewing or swallowing, you can still fast. What could possibly be simpler?